So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today for an artist talk with Matthew Bahe. I'm Maggie Onosorgan, Amerind's Public Program Manager here at the Amerind. And before we begin our program, we always start with acknowledging that the Amerind is located in southern Arizona on lands where the Otham, Hopi, Zuni, Ueme, and Apache families have lived for untold generations, and whose wisdom and traditions live on in vibrant communities. We are grateful for what all of these communities, rich in history, have to teach us. We would also like to thank all our members and donors who enable the Amerind to provide these free online programs and to fulfill Amerind's mission to foster and promote the knowledge and understanding of the Native peoples of the Americas through research, education, conservation, and community engagement. To learn how you can assist the Amerind in supporting its mission and programs by becoming a member or donor, please visit amerind.org. A little bit of housekeeping. So for those of you that might be in the area, we're having an exhibit celebration for an artist talk with photographer Ryan Moreno Cial on Saturday, May 24th at 11 a.m. Ryan's a young photographer from the Tohono O'odham Nation who completed an artist in residency last year at Amerind. He will speak about his current exhibit, Phantasm, which is up now at the Amerind through November 30th. Our next online talk will be Saturday, June 28th at 11 a.m. and will be with artist and writer Max Early. He's a poet and potter, and it's not quite up on our website yet, but it will be hopefully in the next week. We hope you will join us. And as always, visit our website, www.amerind.org, for more details of these and all our other upcoming events. The recording of today's program will be sent to all our registrants and available to watch on our YouTube channel, Amerind Foundation, later this evening. Today, if you have any questions for Matthew, please type them in the Q&A chat box and we'll get to them, as many as possible, after the presentation. We are so pleased to have Matthew Bahe with us today. Matthew is a young ceramist, painter, and mixed media artist from the Navajo Nation. He's originally from Hogback, New Mexico, and is currently attending the IAIA, or the Institute of American Indian Arts Master's Program in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He earned his bachelor's degree with a concentration in ceramics from Jacksonville Private University in Florida. Prior to attending IAIA, he was an adjunct fine art professor at San Juan College in Farmington, New Mexico. His work has gained a lot of attention at events such as Santa Fe Indian Market and the Herd Museum Fair. Today, he will discuss his work, his journey, and his inspiration behind his incredible creation. So please now welcome Matthew Bahe.
Hello to all, and I want to thank Maggie for hosting this event. I also want to thank Amerind for also hosting me on this channel too, and giving me the opportunity to talk about my work and explain my work to the public. So I want to give a big thank you to you guys for allowing me to do this today. So one of the things that I am is I'm an artist. Don't really like to use the term artist, but I'm a craftsman, as I like to say. I like to create things um, without really thinking about the concept behind it sometimes. That's how basically was raised was um, I was just creating things. I didn't really give any insight about what I was creating or how I was creating things. I just found instruments and tools to do something and express myself. So I was at a young age where I didn't really know a lot about the concept art or how to come up with a concept while creating. So that's why I kind of just still use the word craftsman now, because I still like just to build things as opposed to create things with meaning. Sometimes I like to just make things freely. So yeah, my name's Matthew Bahe. I'm a Diné artist slash craftsman. I'm originally from Hogback, New Mexico. I was born in Shiprock, New Mexico at IHS there. Yeah, so I spent a lot of my childhood on the reservation, and I enjoyed my upbringing. I was lived on a reservation, so it was a little isolated. Didn't really get to do a lot. So art was my mental escape off the reservation. Again, I enjoyed the reservation. I didn't feel like I need to it wasn't a bad place to live for me during that time. So yeah, I was just excited to mentally get off the reservation because I never saw myself getting off the reservation. So art was my escape route to kind of get into another world. So this is where I grew up. This is a scene from Hogback. So this is a place where I would hike sometimes when I was a kid with my uncles and my brothers, or just alone sometimes. So this would be a place I would get away. Um, yeah, and so Hogback is located on this map right here, as you can see, this little arrow that's pointing down. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of blended in with the background, but it's kind of in between Shiprock, New Mexico and Farmington, New Mexico. It's just this little part right here on this little map. So not too far from Four Corners. So I grew up right on the reservation again, and I moved to Farmington where I reside now and where I live. So not too far from home, and it's a great place to get away to different places too. It's not too far if you want to drive an hour away, you'll be in Colorado, maybe 30 minutes away. Then after that, you can branch over and go to Utah or go to Arizona. So yeah, you can. It's a pretty cool place to just be all in four places. It's really good for outdoor recreational stuff. But yeah, I was more focused on art. So I come from the reservation and I stay in a small town. So yeah, art was just one of those things I really liked to do. So it was again another escape. So, and I want to give a big thanks to my parents for the hardship and all the hard times they endured to keep me in school, to keep me going, and all the stuff they provided me and all my brothers and my siblings and the kids to get what we are today. So I want to go ahead and show my parents because without them, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you guys and sharing my creative process and my creativity to the world and to the public. So I want to go ahead and acknowledge my parents right there, Charlie Bahe and Gloria Bahe. So yeah, I want to go ahead and just show that just to pay tribute to them. And so I want to go ahead and talk about art. Art has, I believe, embedded in me since I was before I was born. Reason why I say that is because this image that you see before you is it's kind of like an etching that my grandmother did when she was living in Hogback. She did this etching when she was a little girl on a big boulder in in the middle of nowhere behind Hogback on a road that used to be called Coal Mine Road, from my understanding. And so used to live on Coal Mine Road. And so when she was a little girl, she etched this big old boulder. And so me and my brother went out one day to go find this boulder because no one was able to find this boulder in a long time. So me and my brother spent almost 7 hours just hiking, trying to find this rock with the etching on there. We heard about it, but we never saw it. So it's kind of like one of those things. Is it like a legend that my grandma's artwork is out there in the middle of nowhere? But one day we hiked, me and my older brother Kevin Bahe, we hiked behind Hogback and we came across this boulder. And so this boulder had this etching on there. And so we're like, holy crap, we found it. We found this image of an etching that my grandmother did. It's actually an image of a young girl holding a sheep. So if you can pay attention to this arrow, the head's up here, her arms right here, and the sheep's right here, and she's wearing her dress right there, and her legs are down at the bottom. So yeah, it was kind of like one of those things that it was a mission, and I'm very happy that we're able to find it because then we took my brother took my dad. I wasn't able to do it. I was actually gone on a trip. Um, my dad and my other brothers were able to take my dad to that rock and have him see that rock that his mother etched a design on when she was a little girl. So it was a very emotional day. Um, from my understanding, like I said, I was gone on a trip. I can't remember. I usually do a lot of artist trips, or I travel using my artwork. So that was a pretty cool and emotional things. They sent me some images when my dad saw this portrait. So with that being said, I attended college. I attended schooling for art at a local college here in Farmington, New Mexico, at San Juan College. And so one of the things that I did getting into art was mainly painting. I wanted to do a lot more painting, more drawings. I didn't know what a degree was. I didn't know I was supposed to seek a degree. So therefore, I was just taking a bunch of art classes, and I got a letter in the mail saying, "You're not a really a degree seeking student. Did you ever pick a degree or something like that?" And I'm like, "What is a degree?" So it was kind of funny because I didn't know what a degree was. I figured the more art classes I took, the degree I got in art, but it wasn't that wasn't the case. So the college I attended was San Juan College here. It was a community college, and so I decided to seek my liberal arts degree. Yeah, but the funny thing was I used up all my electives. I used up all my electives, so I had to go take general courses, and so that was kind of a bummer. But I was still excited to be in school. My mother was actually the one that encouraged me to take pottery. She was like, "You should do a pottery class. You should do a pottery class." And I was like, "No, I don't think I ever want to do pottery." I just never saw pottery as something I would enjoy or a career that I saw myself in. But it's funny how life goes, because here I am doing a lot of pottery and I can't get enough of it. And my lifestyle is based around pottery today. That's my living source. So yeah, so it became a lifestyle. It became embedded in me. So these image before you are different types of technical firings in ceramics that really attracted me, that really captivated me to do. The first image with the bottle shaped forms is called a Sager firing, low fire salt Sager. So therefore, we're messing with different type of incombustibles, chemistry, and firing, and learning how to use oxygen to get these effects. So I like the surface quality. I like the idea of doing this type of technical firings because, one, I'm a craftsman. I like to build things. So I wanted to learn how to build this pot and create the surface design. So uh, raku firings and technical firings is really and captivated my interest as an artist. So that's one of the firings that really got me, was a Sager firing. The middle one is a horsehair firing. So horsehair firing, the way I was taught, was laying down horsehair individually onto a pot when it's taken out of a kiln at 900 to 1,000 degrees, depending on the clay body. So yeah, so that really captivated me as well as laying down this horsehair. So I went ahead and started learning how to do horsehair. And the last image on the side with the black and white, with the designs around it, that's called a naked raku two-step firing. Excuse me. Uh, that's a naked raku two-step firing. So that's another technical firing process that caught my attention too, because I wanted to learn how to do this type of firings, get the same designs. Uh, Besides the firings and the technical aspect of getting the surface quality, I also want to learn how to throw on a potter's wheel. I was scared of a potter's wheel for about two, 2 to almost 3 years in my career of creating ceramics. And I believe I was doing now today I'm doing pottery for about I want to say 14 years. I've been doing pottery for 14 years now. So within the 14 years I've been doing pottery, I didn't touch the potter's wheel for about 2 years. So um, I've been doing pottery wheel throwing for about 2 years. So yeah, so I also want to learn how to do these shapes on the wheel. And me, I like to push the limit of creating different shapes on the wheels to make things look impossible to be done on a wheel, if that makes sense. I like to make things because you're working with a triple force energy, and so that force is nonstop, and you got to learn how to slow your wheel down, when to push out, when not to push out, else the whole thing will collapse. So yeah, it's just this whole thing. So I wanted to learn how to make shapes that looked impossible to be done on the wheel. So these two gentlemen, Don Ellis and Rodney Bradnax. Don Ellis is my mentor and teacher at San Juan College. He is one of my mentors and teachers who really got me intrigued in doing ceramics. And so he was able to help me out. He taught me a lot of the technical aspects of pottery. And for that, I like to thank him for helping me out and learning how to do pottery. So when I first started doing pottery, I learned how to do pottery in a contemporary style, the more modern style. I never knew traditional Navajo coil met, not Navajo, but traditional coil method pottery. So therefore, I'm kind of relearning these steps backwards. I learned a little bit more of the contemporary modern style first, learning how to do electric kilns, firing, and using the potter's wheel. So a lot of this stuff I'm learning, I learned contemporary wise, the more modern style. So these two gentlemen right here are really good. Yeah, they're a really cool characters because they're so their craftsman is so different. It's so cool, and that's what really got me to want to pursue ceramics. Was like, hey, these guys are doing some pretty cool stuff. I want to learn how to do that. So, yeah. So these guys are pretty cool potters that I enjoy talking to and hanging out with on workshops that I was invited to. So yeah. Again, here's me doing a raku firing. This is called a copper mat firing with the firing being blasted out of this little canister, but that canister is holding 91% alcohol. So that alcohol is actually changing the atmosphere of the colors of that copper mat firing pot, as you can see. And that's the class that's kind of viewing me doing this copper mat firing process. So this is one of the things that really got me into pottery again, just the craftsman behind it, learning how to do all this stuff. And on the pots on the side, that's just a style of another raku firing, where I kind of started learning how to do a lot of raku firings, but I got lost in doing raku firings that were technically didn't have a style. I didn't have a style in. So what that means is that I was kind of like, I wouldn't say copying, but I was imitating or inspired too much from other potters' work that it kind of looked like those potters' work and it didn't look like mine. And I didn't know what that meant is that it didn't look like my work. One of the instructors from Jacksonville, Florida told me, that's not your work, that's their work, and you got to find your work. And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what she meant by saying that. So therefore, I was like, how do I like? How do I? What do you mean? This is my work. I'm creating it. But I kind of understood later on what she meant is that I didn't really have a signature. So my signature was how do I come up with this style? So a lot of my work is imagery. I like to create imagery surfaces. I like to carve. I like to draw. I like to do all these imagery onto my work. So with that being said, I learned how to do these technical firings and I personalize it by doing these um, inspired Diné influenced designs on there. These designs are developed when I was in Jacksonville because I was doing mandalas. I was doing Buddhist mandalas. I got intrigued by doing mandalas. And I was like, I'm doing too much mandalas that are, again, not my style, but I can change that up. You know, I can personalize that. I can get in. So I got into rug weaving designs and I started liking rug weaving designs. And it's funny because rug weaving designs and the mandala kind of just started collaborating each other, started coming into my head as these designs that can act as one. So when I started looking at Navajo baskets, I was like, holy crap, there's something going on that's got this similarity to both styles. So then again, I went ahead and started intertwining mandala designs a little bit with Navajo or Diné, I shouldn't have, I don't know, Diné designs infused with these this other design. So and that's kind of how I came up with these shapes and kind of came up with this design around my pots. I started liking these. Um, I like to call them necklaces or collars. I like to say that these are something as we would wear around us, you know, to distinguish us, I would say, to distinguish us from one another, but also to decorate ourselves. When we talk about pottery in the pottery world, we talk about it as a human being. We talk at the bottom of the pottery being the foot. We talk about the middle being the belly or the middle of a pot. We talk about the top of it as the shoulder of the pot. And we talk about the rim area as a neck or a lip or a rim. So we kind of talk to pots as if they are humans too. So I like to think of myself dressing up an individual or dressing up the spirit of the pot. So when I was in Jacksonville, Florida, I went ahead and started working on my thesis projects. And my thesis projects were about 5 stages of grief. And 5 stages of grief were based off of different stages I was going through when I lost my uncle. So I went ahead and threw these vessels. And so these vessels are horse vessels that show different stages of grief. And so they stand from, I think, 4 feet, 5 feet to almost 7 feet. The back vessel with the white on black with that really tall looking heart in the middle, that's called the heart of hope. So I got these images of 5 stages of grief and a heart of hope in the back, to kind of just project off this luminant essence around just pushing that away. So that's why the horses' faces are away from the pot, not towards it. It's kind of like just driving them away. Because when I was going through the stages of grief, I fell as an artist, but I had to find a way to get back up and try to push all this grief away and try to like drain it out of me. So this 5 stages of grief thesis work is in Jacksonville, Florida. um, when I left Jacksonville, Florida, I just left my work. I didn't have enough money to ship it back. So therefore I left it in a chemical room in the pottery lab as a thank you for all those who have helped me in Jacksonville, Florida. And I sent my instructor, Dana Tupa, a message saying, look into a chemical room because the chemical room had a lot. And the only persons that can get into that chemical room were the ceramics or the year 2 students. So I left it in there for them, and I said, "You guys can just take whatever you want, whoever wants what." And what I was told was when she made the announcement, an instructor ran down the hall to grab one of the vases. So I was very happy and felt very it felt very nice to feel like people liked my work enough to run down a hallway to go and grab it. So yeah, so I left this as a thank you to the university, to the instructors or whoever would want to own one of these pots. So I just left it there because again, I wasn't making a lot of money and I was going to ship these large pieces. So I just left it there for them as a thank you. So I got into sgraffito. Sgraffito is a type of art uh, format where you just scratch through slip. Slip is a colorant that we color onto our clay, and then we can just kind of carve through it. And the white is the original exposed color of the clay, and the black is the slip that covers it. So I got into sgraffito. Again, I was into mandalas, and so I started doing these mandalas from the top and covering them all the way down to the bottom. So these designs, I started getting into sgraffito and learning how to basically draw into a pot or design a pot. So I was doing these. These are my earlier works. This is kind of how I started getting into the idea of painting on pots and designing the pots in a more different fashion. So this is kind of like my earlier works. This is my earlier stages of work. And so again, these are technical firing pots. Sagar pot, as you can see onto the left side, the first image is a Sagar pot. That's called Star Night. It's basically a pot that looks like stars in a valley. So I went ahead and created this design and was really happy to learn how to do these different type of Sagar firings. So therefore, I went ahead and created this pot, and I was just so excited about it that I had to take a picture. so, so the middle pots are naked raccoon fire pots. And again, I went ahead and did this design around the collar or the shoulder of the pot to create this like nice look around there because I want these pots to be different, and so all my designs are different. They're not all the same. And sometimes if it's a design that um, is meant for that pot, I won't recreate that same design. So a lot of my work is I'm sharing that same uh, personal goal of mine as an artist is to not recreate the same design on each pot that I do. So the person who owns the pot, it's special for them. It's made for them. They own a one of a kind piece. I never really try to replicate the same design, shape, or form. So whatever person owns a pot, it's for them and especially for them. Same thing with my functional wear. I do functional wear as well. So these are some designs pieces of naked raku pots that I went ahead and did in a while back. So I enjoy doing naked raku pots there. It's a really fun process. And so getting into imagery onto my pots and the inspiration of rug weaving, Diné rug weaving, I learned how to use colors and like pigments that are made for ceramics. Again, I'm a contemporary. I learned how to use modern and contemporary material. So I went ahead and designed these pots with contemporary material to create this surface quality. And the first pot, the red pot, has this geometric type feel that's kind of like inspired from Denier rugs designs. I don't steal designs from those rugs. I want to just clarify that I don't steal. I'm just really inspired by these designs, the block designs and stuff. So therefore, I don't steal. I just look at it for inspiration. I don't take pictures of them just because, I don't want to feel like I'm looking on my phone to look at them. So when I view them, I just view them and I just kind of study them. So I just kind of try to get embedded in my brain. So it becomes a natural form to just start creating this design. So yeah, so the first one with the red and black one, that's just these two worlds intertwining together of traditional and street art. When I mean street art is the graffiti type look. So I went ahead and add this like spray paint style in the center of the pot. So to kind of create these two worlds with stenciling. And in the middle one is a raven pot. The raven pot is made with underglazes and a little bit of acrylic. I say a little bit of acrylic because there was one part did miss up on the pot that I had to refix, and I just used acrylic to touch it up here and there. So that's a little bit of acrylic and underglazes. And it's a wall hanging piece, about 29 to 28 inches, I believe. And so a lady in Lake Tahoe owns that pot, and I gave it to her again as a gift for thanking her for allowing me to work there at Lake Tahoe. She gave me the opportunity to work with amazing potters from different parts of the United States, and so therefore this was just my way of gratitude of thanking her, saying, "Hey, thank you for hiring me, thank you for giving me this opportunity and shot. So here's my gift to you." So I gave her that pot, and yeah, I don't really know how it's doing now, but it's okay. So the last picture is where I began to start illustrating on pots, starting to design with underglazes, painting underglazes onto pots, using my artistic background of drawing and a little bit of tattooing on in my practices in the past. So therefore, these pots, I like to think of them as an open canvas and me tattooing the pot. So giving them their artistic expression too as well, these pots. And so we're moving forward to these pots right here. These pots are first one is a wedding vessel. This wedding vessel is a water bird in the center. And so this water bird's open up its wings. The water bird is a spiritual medicine animal for the Diné people in a church ceremony. So therefore, I went ahead and just kind of collaborated this special moment for this water vase, wedding vase. I should not say water vase, wedding vase. So this wedding vase, and this heart in the center to not just bless the pot with jeopardy of relation or happy marriage or just happy in general with relation, but also to bless it with this spiritual water bird around there too. So this is a water bird wedding vessel, and in the middle is a pot that I went ahead and started using different type of clay bodies and starting to get these different surfaces of this like burnished wood or like leather wood, or some people would say copper or bronze look. So I started learning how to use different types of clay bodies to get these effects. And so that one that really shows it is the last picture with the long lines around there. If I grab the arrow right here in this region, the last picture. I started to learn how to use and dabble down my percentages of materials, chemicals, I should say, inside the glazes to get this type of um, rustic leather stamp look on ceramics. So it just takes a lot of trial and error, and it takes a lot of experimenting to get these type of styles. And that's kind of what I want to do is experiment right here with the middle picture. And I learned how to do this style, same clay body, same everything. It's just I kind of worked out the kinks and getting this type of look now. So now I'm able to do that with a lot of my pots. And so this next slides are showing more tattooish style or this tattoo idea on pots. So I went ahead and designed this piece. This piece is called Friendship. And so again, I like to go back to doing sgraffito. So the top of the shoulder of the pot, this first picture, I did sgraffito on that whole thing right there. Again, I worked out my kinks. I learned how to do be more patient with sgraffito. So therefore, I was able to get more fine lines to get these nice, rich, um, straight lines into. So because it just takes a lot of trial and error, especially when you work on anything, you got to work out those kinks. So I went ahead and started creating this thing with more fine line and more precision. And at the bottom, I went ahead and started um, glazing and hand painting this just raven fighting with another raven. And so these two ravens are creating a bond by fighting with each other because the red string on this last picture, this red string is actually attached to both ravens. They're fighting over, one of them's holding a turquoise in its mouth, and the other one's got the string wrapped around his leg, and the string wraps around the other raven's leg, and they're kind of just pulling each other, but they're creating this little friendship in a way too, is because the string bonds them together. If they don't learn how to work with each other, that string's just going to keep forever tangling them up. So they got to figure out a way to work together to untangle themselves. So that's why I call this pot a new friendship. A new friendship starting. Basically, that's what's happening. And so this first picture is a side picture of a pot that I usually like to make shapes of. I like when I do these illustrating, I like to create this really big bulbous shape with a nice bottom, um, with a nice small bottom, because I was kind of taught if you want a nice pot to kind of feel uplifted, especially if it's more round, you don't want to be very like sitting like a rock. So to create that look, you got to create this very narrow bottom and create this thing called a shadow effect, which is at the bottom. If you can see this little arrow, there's a little shadow that's happening right here. That little shadow adds like a upbringing, like you blew it into a balloon and it's ready to float off. You see a little shadow at the bottom. So that little shadow adds effect of it being light, so it's not too heavy. If I created this bulbous pot too far out and didn't really give it much of a shadow down there, then it would feel very visually heavy, like, oh, I don't want to lift that pot because it looks visually heavy to lift up. But I notice if you can create that shadow at the bottom, then you can create this effect that it feels like you just blew into a balloon and it's ready to take off. So that's what I kind of want to show in this first picture. The middle picture, I was at a Pirates Museum exhibition and I saw shipwreck material, and these olive jars were at the bottom of the ocean that they used to collect. And so these olive jars would carry oils, carry nuts, carry food, um, and a lot of edible materials. So I was really intrigued by the shape. So I was like, how can I do these shapes too? So I started learning how to figure out to throw olive jars. And so one of my instructors from Jacksonville, Florida, takes off to Italy and France a lot. And she sent a picture to me of a residency, I think it was in Italy, that had these olive jars outside the windows. And she goes, "Look, I found the same jars you're creating." And I was like, "Holy crap, that's That's really cool because then it's really cool to see, two different styles, I would say. So I went ahead and started creating these like olive jars, but olive jars have more of an open rim on top to hold in the material. I kind of create this little spout right there to kind of just give it this bottle shaped form, and also to it's not there, it's not functional. It's got to be more decorative. So I got to kind of change it up a little bit to make it look less functional. So I went ahead and created this little lip right there, a little opening, and I created the little bracket that hangs against the wall, so it's able to sit on the wall. And so again, shapes. I like to go back to talking about making shapes look impossible to be done on a wheel. So therefore, this piece right here is done on a wheel. So I like to make shapes look like they're impossible to do on a wheel, like they have to be hand built to be done. But I went ahead and created this shape right here, this diamond-like shape. The bottom is round like a sphere, and the tops are flat. So it's like a three, like basically a three. Basically, it's like three flat pyramid shapes, I guess, three flat surfaces that make this pyramid shape on top. And I went ahead and designed it with this again, inspired Kurdish style of, I don't know, how would you say, like, wouldn't really say rug weaving, but more of organic design, I guess you would say. Kind of, because this design kind of came off a yucca plant, if that makes sense. I like the yucca plant to a point where it has more of these sharp points in there. So I kind of like this yucca idea. So therefore, I kind of created this shape to make it resemble that a little bit. Again, I create decorative and also create functional. And my functional wear has decorative and functional. So I like to customize my functional wear to be different again, to be meant for that person who owns it. So I go ahead and I hand paint all my designs. I hand throw all the mugs. These are all functional. They're microwavable and dishwasher safe. So therefore, you can throw in dishwasher. It won't hurt it. You can throw it in the microwave. It won't hurt it. I use mine a lot. I don't know if you could see on my camera. Oh shoot, what's up? But yeah, right there. I use mine a lot. So this is my favorite cup. It's actually AIM, American Indian Movement, and it's got this eagle on there with a war bonnet. So yeah. So I use my cup a lot. I love my cup. So it's kind of funny how I said that. I love my own cup. But yeah, I love the way it feels. I love the design, everything. So yeah, so a lot of my work are designed to be fit for that person. So the middle cup, that's the sage moth. I like this whole idea of incorporating animals, cryptic monsters, anything that catches my interest out of this, I guess, out of this rut that I sometimes get into. I just got to intertwine two worlds into one. So that's called a sage moth, and that was a mug that, yeah, it was a fun mug that I love the design, but I don't think I'd ever redo the design like that. I'd probably have to change it up a little bit. But yeah, a lot of people enjoy stuff like that. So I'm excited to keep doing it and show it. So this last picture right here has got some moss with a little bit of flowers around there. The flowers I usually typically do are kind of like neo-traditional, American traditional tattooish styles. So I like to make these cold, bold lines and just kind of just do these nice fine lines and thick lines too on there. So I just love art, and so by just saying that, I just like to create different types of style of imagery into these pieces. Going back to stuff that don't really have imagery but have again a characteristic are these slip design mugs. So these slip design mugs, these are influenced from the Japanese tea bowl. I have some friends that go to Japan a lot, and we get into discussions about what they're doing over there with their ceramics and all this stuff. So I get really intrigued and I get really interested in some of the topics we talk about. And so one things I want to do was create like a Japanese tea bowl style. But again, I like to push the limits and challenge myself and actually make things look different. So these are done in an electric kiln, not a gas kiln, and they're not done in a wood fire kiln. So a lot of potters to get this type of surface would use a wood fire kiln to get these blushes of carbon trapping or to get this rustic look on some of these tea bowls. But again, I went ahead and worked those kinks out and I was able to recreate that style, but in a cone six kiln, electric kiln. So it's an not a reduction kiln. So yeah, so I was able to do this type of tea bowl style influence pieces. The middle one again is some slip work on there. So the mugs are all got slip work that are different designs. So each pot comes out differently, but I really like to make it look different sometimes, but keep the character, color schemes and everything to kind of match other ones. But it's not a guarantee all the colors are gonna be the same. It's not a guarantee all the slip designs are gonna be the same. So again, it's got its own characteristic and its own personality. And this last picture of a tea bowl is just like a tea bowl that I just want to show you guys how one looked on its own. So I learned how to use sodium silicate, which is a type of material that's able to give me this rock-like formation around this arrow that I'm circling right there to make it look like rock or like branch or bark. So I was able to get that effect with sodium silicate and red iron oxide and using glazes, RGH Shino glaze to kind of create this look right here. So yeah, these are all functional. These are all functional wear. Again, you can use them in the dishwasher, microwavable. They're fired to cone 6, I believe. No, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's cone 10. I fired them to cone 10. So I was trying to figure out, I was like, wait, I fire a lot of stuff to 6. So going back to my imagery work, so I got into painting first. I was more into painting and drawing. I was originally trying to get a degree in painting, um, but that the community college I was attending didn't give art degrees, so I just got a liberal arts degree. But I love doing paintings. I love going back to 2D work. So this first painting is a Tom Waits painting. I love Tom Waits. I'm a pretty cool fan when it comes to Tom Waits. So this painting is called "Come Up to the House," title underneath his song, "Come On Up to the House." So one of my favorite lines in that song was, "The world is not my home. I'm just passing through. You got to come up to the house." So I just think of that as something that I live by because in my past I kind of became homeless just for a while and didn't really have a home, and I was too scared to go back home because I didn't want to tell my mom I was a failure. And knowing that her son that she worked so hard to continue creating an education for felt like a failure and felt like he was failing. So um, I kind of lived out of my car there for a while. Um, so a lot of this stuff of being homeless, being living off the grid and stuff was it kind of got embedded in me because I kind of lived that style for a little bit, but um, I'm very fortunate to have a home now. So I don't want to go through that rabbit hole, but this is a piece called Tom Waits, and I think it was like 4 feet by 4 feet by 3 feet, I believe. It's a painting. And so that's one of my favorite paintings I did of Tom Waits. And the middle one again is another Tom Waits painting, this collaboration of ceramics and mixed media. Uh, the metal star behind it, that's made out of metal. I did this graffiti style of drawing, just fast drawing, not taking my time creating these drawings so they look very sketchy, just like someone just hurried up and went in and drew it on the wall. So I went ahead and did that. These images and things that Tom Waits, are kind of like known for. So yeah, so I went ahead and created this star, this son of Tom Waits. And this last picture is it's a raven. Um, it's called Coming from Two Worlds. So what that means is that this raven is kind of like this arch, this turquoise arch that's around it. That's an arch of a kiln. It's actually a kiln door. And so the black design back there, it's the chimney of the kiln. So it's supposed to act like a chimney. So it's actually like a kiln door um, with another world inside coming out of it. And the design in the back, the red design, that's this rug weaving design. So I went ahead and started creating this fusion of um, this kiln world with rug weaving and just kind of create it together. And again, this is just a desert back there. I like simplicity. I like the style of simplicity. So it's not very detailed. these melons, I went ahead and created this like just line drawing with different colors. And yeah, I enjoyed this freedom of just creating this type of style work. So yeah, this work of this ravens kind of just coming out. One thing, fun fact about my ravens is a lot of my ravens either have turquoise stone or they either have a rope tied around their leg, a string tied around their leg. So this raven's actually got a string tied around his leg at the bottom where this arrow is, and right here's a turquoise, the item that he always usually has in his mouth. So yeah, so I like to do that. That's one of my signatures that I like to do with a lot of my ravens is either have him with the turquoise in the mouth flying, or he'll have a string wrapped around his leg. And so with 2D work, I started getting hired to do wall murals. And so there was a time where I was doing wall murals for this was done for San Juan College's dorms that they just were getting ready to get built for some of the students that could live on campus there and continue their education. So this is a 24 feet by 12 feet and 4 inches painting mural that I went ahead and did and airbrushed and used acrylics on. So yeah, this was a fun piece. I was given a scaffold and I was just rolling that scaffold back and forth, just trying to get all this detail. So this is a horse to represent being alone because this is a dorm. I know how it feels to live away from home. When I went to Jacksonville, I lived in a dorm apartment, so I kind of got homesick. Well, I did get homesick. So, um, yeah, so this horse is to represent the individual, the student, to show fierce and the dedication to continue doing what you're doing, to keep pushing on, because we all get alone, we all get lonely, especially if you're in a place where you're not familiar with, you kind of get homesick. So this horse is supposed to create this courage to show that student that hey, you can keep going. And this horse in the middle of this circle is by himself in the middle of the desert. Even though that's very seems very lonely and lonesome, um, you can still make it through this lonely world basically. So this is supposed to be like an inspiration design to kind of uplift those individuals who either get homesick or just get tired or just need to drive sometimes. So that's why I kind of made this horse look more fierce and coming out. So I was actually given the opportunity to do a wall mural again. I'm sorry about the lighting, by the way, in this picture. I was given the opportunity to do a wall mural at the IHS that I was born at. So at Shiprock Hospital, I was able to do a wall mural for them. And so for my appreciation, I said, yeah, I'm going to do a wall mural, and I'm going to try to do it as great as I can for you guys, as my thank you for what you guys had offered my community, the Diné community, and also me growing up. When I broke my bones, hurt myself, you guys were there to help me out and get me back on track. So this again, I'm sorry about the lighting, but this water bird, this is a water bird again used in the peyote ceremony. So it's like Diné church, basically. This is our spiritual animal, not spiritual, but this is our animal of medicine. So this is a water bird, and this water bird was airbrushed, and I went ahead and airbrushed that, and airbrushed the drums and everything to kind of give it a more realistic feel. And on this side of the other side of the mural, it's got this geometric corn stalk. Corn stalk is one of the main food groups for the Diné people, and also the spiritual food group for the Diné people. We use it in medicines. We use it in basically a lot of our cooking. We use it in our number one crop for growing. So yeah, corn is a very sacred food group for us to not just pay homage to, worship, use in our body to protect ourselves. It's just one of those iconic food materials that is here on the Diné reservation. And I grow corn with my brothers during the summer, which I'm going to be doing again this summer. So yeah, this it's to pay homage to rug weaving again. So we are known for rug weaving and silversmithing. So therefore, I went ahead and did this geometric style of corn on the other side. So this is supposed to be this rug weaving fusion of contemporary style of work. And so this is basically like medicine for the people. It's got the logo of Shiprock, the medicine logo with the feather in the middle. And it's also got this traditional basket right there, traditional basket with an opening because we got to have that opening. That's our lifeline. We got to have that opening. That's where we are able to come in and out. So this is the lifeline right here. So I always create a lot of these designs with an opening right there, and these arrowheads for protection around this basket-ish style of design. I went ahead and put arrowheads. Arrowheads are to protect us, to protect the Diné people. So to protect all the patients and all the people who work in the medical field, to protect them and protect everybody who enters that building. So that's what that is. And this church right here, the items, the bird, everything, again, it's also supposed to bring medicine to them, to bring medicine to the sick, to bring medicine to those who are mentally going through distress right then and there. So it's supposed to bring this healing aspect to it. When I was doing this painting, I did this bird. I really apologize for the lighting. I did this bird realistic to a point. One of the workers, when I was doing it, she came up to me. She goes, I walked through this hallway so many times. I'm just waiting for that bird to actually fly off that painting. And it made me very happy inside. It gave me a heartwarming feeling because that's what I was going for. I wanted to make this bird look as realistic as possible. And so when she made that comment to me, it made me, in a way, blush and made me feel really excited inside to be like, "Holy crap! This, this is basically what I'm going for." And she made that comment about her waiting for that bird to actually fly off the wall, and that just made me so happy inside. One things I got into again because I like to do craftsmanship. So my dad was a not was, but he still is. He works with carpentry and he does with a lot of woodworking in his past. So one things I got into was tables, making tables. So these were my first prototypes of making tables, coffee tables. And so I started making coffee tables with this tattooish style, this bat style, this pot style, and the raven style. So a lot of my work has this tattooish feel to it and inspired from the tattoo culture and the styles they bring and designs they bring. So yeah, these were some prototypes of small coffee tables that I had created. And I also just got done with a couple coffee tables for the Grouch Gretschman family collection in New York. I apologize if I said that wrong. I was just talked to one of my friends about it. I said, is it Grouchman? I'm not familiar with some of these terminologies. So yeah, so I made a couple of tables for them. I made 3 tables for them, and it just left this past week. And so again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, but I'm very thankful that I was able given the opportunity to do tables for them, and I'm very humbled to have been given the opportunity too. So yeah, so I did some tables for them, and you guys will see that here in this presentation. And so I learned how to work with wood. So I learned how to do these pots, the black and white and red pot wall hanging pieces. Those are made out of wood. And I went ahead and airbrushed and hand designed, hand drew all those designs on there. So a lot of these pots are these type of tattoo styles that are done on people. And I was like, I want to learn how to do this and create it into a more fine art style, and more fine, bring it to a more fine art look. So I went ahead and created these wall hanging pieces. And so the first one is the American traditional eagle. And so it's got this fierce eagle looking down, ready to go down and attack its prey and stuff. So went ahead and create this fierceness. And the middle one is a roadrunner. For I live in New Mexico, so roadrunners are very common to see around here. And it's also one of those cool birds that can actually run. So a lot of them fly. So this is one of those who can really run. So yeah, so I did this heroic stance, looking roadrunner in the middle. The last one's a rooster. I grew up in a family that loved roosters. I've had a rooster. I was given a gift as a young boy to a Rhode Island red rooster, and his name was Richie. And so Richie, they didn't tell me this, was actually a fighting rooster. I didn't know about this until after I started getting scratched up feeding him. So therefore, so therefore, they told me the person who bought it, they bought it off him. He was actually a fighting rooster that they apparently, I guess they smuggled him from a fighting exhibition out of that whole thing, but he still had the fight in him. So it became this kind of like family joke of having roosters around. So I had a rooster. His name was Richie, and he was very aggressive. He actually fought a dog, and he won. So yeah, roosters are kind of one of those things that kind of one of those animals you'll always see in my family's um, house, or you'll see my family have it, or some type of relationship or connection with a rooster to my family. Sometimes you'll always see like a rooster in it. So, well, I'm going to address the paintings. I got into cryptic monsters, and so these cryptic monsters are either Mothman, the Jersey Devil, Ozark Howler. A lot of those stuff intrigue me, my interest. So, therefore, I like to collaborate with bringing cryptic monsters onto the reservation. I know it's probably like a bad thing. You're not supposed to do that. Why would you want to bring something bad and evil this way? It's not about bringing that. It's just kind of personalizing it. I like to personalize it. If I made this monster uh, for where they are, with imagery, what they are, and stuff like that, then again, it's not really personalizing it to me as a Diné person. So therefore, intertwine it with the reservation, then it's like, okay, it gives it more interest. And it's like, okay, cryptic monster coming to reservation. So yeah, so I like to create this collaboration of cryptic monsters with the reservation. Um, so there, these two, the blue one, this raven is actually wearing like these native what Diné people used to wear in like the 70s or 80s are these different types of one color jean on jean uh jackets with jean pants and like just a off color vanilla undershirt white. So that's what this guy is supposed to represent, like this old style of Diné characteristics of their old fashioned. And so I did this 2D style look where he's just looking off to the side and kind of looking the opposite direction. So to kind of show off his Navajo bun, his Diné bun back there. So yeah, it's just him holding this rug. And so the same thing with the Mothman. He's holding this rug, wearing a nice top hat and stuff like that with a little bit of turquoise on top. And so yeah, these guys are just kind of just showing off these rugs, just showing that we're here. And again, showing me as a Diné person, I'm here and my artistics here. Artistic ability. So back to the tables I did for New York. These are the tables that I customly made for them. And so these designs are made for the collection in New York. I won't recreate these designs because I feel like I want these designs to be for them and them only. It's just for me as an artist and as a craftsman to give to them something one of a kind that belongs just for them. So again, with same thing with my pottery. So a lot of people who own my work, it's just for you, it's for them. It's not for you can share it, if you decide to gift it to someone else, but that pot's made specifically for that particular person. So these designs are again made for the collection, the Gutschman family collection in New York. So I went ahead and created these tables, and I think they're 31 inches by 30 inches. So they're two pretty decent sized tables. Um, I made three of them for the collection and one for one of the persons who work at the collection. So therefore, I created four tables. So this is a wolf head design, again, American or neo-tradish, I shouldn't say American tradish, but more neo-traditional look style. So again, these are functional tables. You can eat off them. You can put your stuff on them. I like to work with tabletop two-part epoxy or resin to really cure. So I like to sand them down, hand paint them, hand design them, put the epoxy on top. And all these are all done by hand. I hand uh, cut the shapes out too as well. I don't use any type of um, machines to cut them out for me. I do everything by hand. That's just kind of how I was taught. So I went ahead and sand it all by hand too as well. And the last one, oh, the middle one's actually just kind of give you an idea of how the tables look when they have the legs on and everything. as opposed to a bird's eye view. So yeah, these are some legs that I went ahead and put them on there to really not focus on the legs, but to mainly focus on the design itself. So I didn't really want to take away by giving them fancy legs. So I went ahead and just used these simple legs and focus more of the attention to the top of the table as opposed to the bottom. Because if I'm doing all that work, I want them to focus on what the work, right? I want them to focus on the design. So if I create design at the legs, then they're gonna be like, hey, look at these legs too. So yeah, so I just went ahead and used a simple style of metal legs on there. The top, the last image is a hummingbird. And so I went ahead and created this hummingbird on a pot silhouette design piece, and to kind of create this cool atmosphere of a pot, like a paper, like you drew it on a paper and mounts the table. So therefore, I went ahead and did this just black, white, and red design right here with the this flower. A lot of my flowers I use are flowers that are found locally on cactuses that grow up around where I live in Farmington, New Mexico. I have my phone. I have a little flower diary that I take pictures of every time I see a flower. Um, but I like to just use a lot of my flowers that I capture on my phone. I don't really like to use images that I found on Google or anything like that. A lot of my phone's data for storage data for my phone has a lot of flowers, so I like to use those designs. So whenever I'm traveling or anything, I take pictures of flowers there or locally here. So I like to use those in my work. This is a design by Burt Grimm inspired influence tattoo um, tiger head. So when I was asked to do the commission, I was first asked if I could do this type of style of design. And I said, sure, but I want to customize it. I want to personalize it. I don't want to rip off what he did or what everybody else is doing with this design. I want to kind of create my own design. So I went ahead and add these geometric shape stripes in there to kind of create this like flowing Diné rug, kind of just like moving like that on the tiger. And so I used these geometric shape Diné influenced designs to kind of characterize, give to more characteristic and personalize it again. So these are some tiger heads. And when I was doing this orange one, orangish yellow looking one, that's going to the collection. So when I was asked to do another one, I said, sure, I can do another one, but can I change it up? And so when I would talk to the person who commissioned me about changing it up, I said, can I make it black and white? Because I want to see it done in black and white. Me, I want to see it done too, but I think it would look nice in black and white. And also, again, I won't be ripping off my own work, ripping off my own work and repurposing that in another orangish tiger. So I went ahead and did a black and white one too. So yeah, so that piece is a black and white one, and that's done for the guy who was his name's Zach, and Zach was the guy who found me at the herd at Phoenix Indian Market, and so we got into a conversation, and he was the one that gave me the opportunity and talked to uh, the Gutschman family collection in New York, and they said, yeah, let's do these tables. So if it weren't from him, I wanted to give this opportunity to present these tables. So I'm very thankful to him, and thank you for the opportunity to do these tables. So yeah, this is for Zach. Black and white ones for Zach, and that's his personal table. Going back to where I grew up, I learned how to do contemporary. We're going back to pottery. I learned how to do contemporary lifestyle type of pottery. Now I'm transitioning to do more tradish coil building, gather my own clay, natural found clay. So I want to go ahead and show this picture again. This is the same picture from the beginning of the presentation because I started getting my clay from here. I started looking for clay. I started getting my own clay, digging for my own clay, which is a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do that. So I gathered my own clay, started to learn how to do coil building, got influenced and inspired by other coil building artists, Diné artists too, like Jared. So he inspired me because I used to see him on Instagram and I was like, dang, his work's awesome. I want to learn how to do that, but I want to learn how to start doing different shapes and using different clays. So I went ahead and started gathering my own clay, so I learned how to coil build. So this is just the first picture is the clay when I started grinding it, fine powdering it, and getting it ready to go ahead and adding water into there. Like creating dough. If you guys ever use dough, you just get flour, salt, and all this other stuff, and you just start putting water in there and start mixing it. Same concept. you just mix in water with a little bit of temper, which temper is just like pre-fired broken clay, or you can use a little bit larger fragments of rocks or a little sand in there to give it durability. So yeah, so I learned how to mix clays and learned how to a little bit do coil pots. A lot of trial and error. I'm still struggling today. I'm not professional, but I plan to try to get up there with my coil building. I don't want to say I'm be a professional master, just because I'm still stuck on wheel throwing. So yeah, so but I really respect this type of uh work. I love the craftsman behind it. I love how much time and effort put in there. So yeah, therefore, I really want to learn how to do coil building pots. So burnishing stones on the last panel, these are burnishing stones that I use to burnish my pots with. I get gifted burnishing stones. I also find burnishing stones. So I have a collection of burnishing stones, and I'm happy to say that I've used majority of them, but I'm ashamed to say I didn't use all of them. Some of them are still in my collection, and one day I'll get to a lot of my stones. So I learned how to do coil pots and learning to get clay off the land. So whenever I travel, I'll pull over to the side of the road with a bucket, a small bucket in the back of my car. I travel with a small bucket behind my car to pick up some local clay there. Again, I joined the IAIA program, Institute of American Indian Arts, and I was inspired to just go home and just refine myself as a Diné person. Being caught up in school, I lost myself, my tradition, I lost my culture, I lost who I was as a Diné individual. So going home, I'm learning to relearn all that stuff all over again. Um, and I'm happy to go home and relearn who I am because it created more openings creatively, mentally, conceptually. So therefore, I get inspired from land. I get inspired from rock formations and everything. So this first picture is my inspiration when I went to Antelope Canyon. I saw this piece of stick that connected these two broken um, splits that I know will probably never come back again. But this one branch creates this connection between them, creating a bridge that says, hey, you know, you guys are still connected if I'm here. So I love this image. I took this image when I was there, me and my wife. So I really love this image that I got inspired to create a piece dedicated to it. So this drawing in the middle, this is from my thesis work for my first semester at I and so this is my rough sketch. And so I learned how to figure out the conception idea behind it is this work's called admire. And so this box behind here, which I was told not to do, and I know why now. So I'm very thankful I was going to school there because they told me they gave me a lot of good feedback to why I shouldn't add a box. So, but I thought I was helping out. That's all I could say is I thought I was helping out, so I put a box there. But it's a box with sand in there, with glass in there around it. And these two pieces that one I wheel through. I wheel through one of them, and I coil built the other ones. So I learned how to coil build again because I wanted to learn how to coil build, and also due to the sake of time for my residency to come up, I was just like, oh, I got to throw this one. I can't hand build this with the amount of time I need to get this stuff done. So I went ahead and just threw the big one and hand built the small ones. So I went ahead and created this stick to create and imitate the same picture on the first part, kind of create this connection between them, this bond, and what inspired me. So here's me presenting my work resident at the residency, my first semester at IAIA, the winter residency. And here's me talking about my work and what it meant. The conceptual part of it is basically admiring something at afar, but you know, just stand back and look at it instead of going up to it and distracting it. And that's what the glass is supposed to represent. It's supposed to be representing waste done to those beautiful, admiring scenes. And when you actually go up to it, it's just dirty spray paint and trash everywhere, you know, and it's just like, wow, like maybe I should have just stood back and admired it at afar and just take it in from there as opposed to going up to it and being distracted by all this other stuff. So that's what this piece is. And again, that box, I thought I was doing the gallery a favor because I used to be a gallery practicum. So I thought I was doing a favor by keeping the sand contained and not getting it all over the floor, getting it so no one would have to clean up after me is what I was doing. I was trying to be nice and not having people clean up dirt after me. So I went ahead and built this box to contain it, but they thought the box was part of the whole thing too. So I was like, oh man, no, this is just supposed to contain the dirt, not get the dirt everywhere and ruin you guys' pedestal and floor. So that's why I built the box. But yeah, that's a whole different thing. So I kind of regret the box now. Yeah. I'm in IAIA program, like I mentioned. So I was given the opportunity to go to the Albinale to view Jeffrey Gibson's um, exhibit at the Albinale in Venice. So this is my class. This is the class I'm in now, and they're all a wonderful group of artists, great characters, very smart, and more than I'm so happy to be in this cohort right here with these artists because everything happens for a reason. I applied to II in the past, didn't get in. Applied again. I finally got in. Was able to give an opportunity to go to Venice at the Albinale to go visit Jeffrey Gibson, to meet with Jeffrey Gibson, to hear his speech. So I want to thank Jeffrey Gibson for giving me the opportunity as well to go out there because he's the one that helped fund to get us out there, the II program. So I was able to go to Venice. When I was first told, I thought it was Venice Beach. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to Venice Beach. But when I contact my the president, I think Mario Cario, I was like, hey, is it Venice Beach? He goes, no, Venice, Italy. In Italy, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to Venice, Italy. So I was like, I thought the whole time I was going to Venice Beach, but I don't know why our thing would have went to Venice Beach. But yeah, anyways, given the opportunity to go there, meet with these artists, and so I enjoy talking to every single one of them, their creativity process and the work they do. So I couldn't have been in a better place at a better time with a great group of people. So I'm very happy to have joined the program during this time. Everything happens for a reason. The universe told me not to wait, or the universe told me to wait and join this time. So if I would have went earlier, I would never have had the opportunity to meet everybody that you guys are able to see here. So these guys are my cohort, and I'm just showing my class. And this is the whole class. This is the whole II program. The second years, the first years, the mentors, and everybody that's in the program that I am currently today. So this is a picture we took at the Albuquerque Farmington Art Museum before entering to go see Broken Boxes exhibition. So yeah, we're there to go hear the speech from Raven Chacon, who was an artist that was there featured at the Broken Boxes. So we're able to hear his speech, hear about his work. And so therefore we're able to kind of just get a first person's speech about their own work. So yeah, so this was the first years and second years and all the mentors that are in the program. Fortunately, I think there's like two that are not in there or three that were able to come. So this is the class of first years and second years. So this is what I'm in. When I was at the El Benali, we met with a local there in Venice. We met with the Venice printmaker, paper maker, and woodblock printer. And so this is a group of friends that I became friends with, Jimmy, Riley, and Cedar. So there's me trying to look up because I'm small. I'm like only 5'6", so I'm a pretty small guy. So yeah, so I was looking up. But yeah, so therefore I got to meet these group of friends. We became friends. We're still friends, and I'm very happy to have them in my life as my friends today. We call ourselves the Burger King Group, and I'll talk to you why we call ourselves Burger King Group later. But anyways, this is a picture of us taken with a local there. We got some cool prints off him. I actually got a print right here from him, and this is a pretty cool print that he created. So my camera is showing it. Well, I'm sorry, it's like a little blurry. Oh, it's blurry. But this is a print that I was able to get there from him, and I'm very happy to have gotten that print. So yeah, it's my own token from Venice. Oh, is that it? I guess that's it. I guess I'm gonna tell you why they call us Burger Crew now. So the reason why they call it the Burger Crew is because one day we're hungry, So we decided we're gonna go look for Burger King. We saw that they had a Burger King. So we traveled about an hour, then we finally found Burger King. And when we went to Burger King, we decided to eat something else. So that became a whole thing of like we spent an hour when we were really hungry finding Burger King, eating something else. So after that, we just always have the Burger King group. So that's kind of a little funny thing about that story. So yeah, that's me, my life, that's my creative process, and me as an artist.
Thank you, Matthew. We're a little bit over, but we have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Let me get to those. So one from Marie, amazing work, amazing creativity. Thank you a lot for sharing your work and different stages and mediums you use. Finally, which is your favorite medium, or are you still enjoying all of them?
Yeah, I enjoy all of them. I try not to be honed down by one thing. My concentration is in ceramics, but I'm always also exploring different ways to use ceramics or pottery. I'm not trying to be tied down by one creative process or medium, just because I find like the more you're interested in something else, like you have a big variety of something, the more ideas, the more process of doing other things is what I like. I like to be able to do a lot of things. And I was just doing a paper saying that about a chameleon, how he always changes his stripes to adapt not to get eaten. Well, just like the changing process to many things, I like to change a lot. I like to move to different things. So like a chameleon, I like to change things up. So yeah, thank you. That's a pretty cool question, and thank you for the feedback. And that's that. I just don't like. I don't really have one particular one thing that I do the most, except pottery. But I like I said, I always like to use pottery to explore different routes too. So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but yeah, thank you.
And we have one from Key. Hello, I'm from Albuquerque, currently living in Guatemala.
Oh, nice.
My immediate family lives in Farmington. Do you have a gallery in Farmington?
Um, I'm part of a gallery called the Three Rivers Art Center downtown in Farmington. I don't really have a lot of inventory in there because I'm always doing shows. I do a lot of shows in different parts of the United States, so I'm always traveling. And every time I go back to the gallery, I always try to bring something back. But right now, it's limited there, from my understanding. And yeah, it's just one of me, and I'm trying to make a lot of things. So yeah, no, I have some stuff there at the Three Rivers Art Center downtown next to the Chili Pod, which is a restaurant. Whenever I have new things, I usually try to bring that in there whenever I get a chance. But yeah, oh, that's cool though. I have a friend from Guatemala. His name's Gio, so that's pretty cool.
And then the last one from Rochelle. Matthew's contact information, please. Wonderful
Oh,
work and presentation. Thanks. So yeah, if you want to share that with them, I'll share that in the email that I send later tonight after everything gets downloaded. I'll put your links on there so everybody can find you.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who joined us today. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Matthew, for sharing all your talents, and I will let you sign off.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for viewing this talk and hear me talk about my creative process. And again, I want to thank you for hosting it again. I
Of
want to thank
course.
you for hosting it. And I want to thank everybody else who enjoyed this talk. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.